on a red-hued hillside near the palace of Naxos. As the sun began to set, two figures met. Deucalion reined in his horse, its armor glinting in the dying light, and faced his brother Catreus. Deucalion, Catreus's voice was soft as always, but held a hidden edge. "Where are you going at this late hour?" Deucalion took a steadying breath. "I'm looking for Theseus. I've spoken with father, and I've decided to bring him to the palace myself." He looked Catreus squarely in the eye. "And what are you doing out here?" A cynical smile played on Catreus's lips. "I am on my way with proof that Theseus is a traitor." His voice was low, but laced with venom. "We have testimony that he is secretly meeting with the remnants of Taurus's rebels. I was just about to gather these witnesses and report it all to father." Deucalion took a step back, his brow furrowed. "What nonsense is this?" "Theseus is the Prince of Athens, the hero who came to slay the Minotaur. Why would a man like that join a rebellion? When you have witnesses," Catreus countered smoothly, "there's no need for doubt, is there?" Deucalion's eyes grew cold. "I trust something far more reliable than your witnesses. I trust his eyes. He is not a man who deals in lies. I will see him myself and learn the truth." Without another word, Deucalion spurred his horse onward, kicking up a cloud of red dust. As he watched his brother's receding form, a cold smile spread across Catreus's face. Once Deucalion was out of sight, Catreus turned to the men beside him. "This false testimony isn't just to discredit Theseus," he murmured. "I do not want him to lose to Deucalion." One of his men asked, bewildered, "But, sir, shouldn't your brother Deucalion be the victor?" Catreus let out a chilling smirk. "No, Deucalion must be defeated. He must die. Only then will the throne return to me, when Minos's beloved son is gone. ... His voice was as cold as iron scraping against glass. "So, continue with the plan. Tell King Minos that Theseus has conspired with traitors. Deucalion will undoubtedly challenge him to a fight, and the outcome of that fight will unfold exactly as I wish." Meanwhile, Theseus was making his own way to Naxos, alone. He had just passed through the market's stone paths and was approaching the main gate, paved with blue sand, when he saw a woman waiting for him. Her hair, catching the sunlight, shone like a red jewel. It was PHAEDRA, the young princess of Crete. The moment she saw Theseus, she ran toward him, her face alight with a brilliant smile. "Hero of Athens, I finally get to meet you." Theseus was momentarily stunned by her dazzling beauty and confident presence. Princess PHAEDRA smiled gently. "Ever since you arrived in Crete, the very air of this land has changed. I feel the ominous presence that has haunted us is beginning to fade. Perhaps, once you defeat the Minotaur, as you promised, Crete and Athens can finally forge a new era of peace." Theseus bowed his head briefly before meeting her gaze again. "I am not fighting for the glory of Crete. I am fighting to ensure that no more Athenians are ever sent here as sacrifices. I am fighting to break the chains that monster has fastened upon my city." His voice was a powerful mix of conviction and righteous anger. PHAEDRA was breathless. She realized in that moment that he was not just a warrior. He was a liberator, a man destined to break chains. "If there is anyone who can break that chain," she said, her eyes locked on his, "it is you. And I want to stand with you to add my strength to your fight." Theseus offered a small, appreciative smile. "Thank you for that, but I cannot give you an answer now. I can only hope that defeating the Minotaur will be payment enough for your kindness one day." PHAEDRA nodded quietly. "Then allow me to guide you to the Knossos palace." She began to walk, and Theseus followed her in silence, their destination set. In the dusty library of Knossos, a young man named Hippolytus, a friend of Theseus, sifted through ancient stone tablets. He whispered the names etched in hieroglyphs: Minos ... Daedalus ... the ones who sealed the Minotaur ... sentence. "The blood of the warrior with the spear of Manoa still remains in Knossos." Intrigued, Hippolytus pulled out one last book. Inside was an old illustration showing a young King Minos, the wise Daedalus, and a boy dressed as a prince, holding a distinctive spear, the spear of Manoa. Hippolytus's eyes widened in disbelief. Could it be? Is this legendary warrior ... still alive? Meanwhile, in King Minos's grand hall, a man named Catreus stood before the throne, his face a mask of confidence. Beside him, a few soldiers, known as the remnants of Taurus's faction, knelt on the floor. "Your Majesty," Catreus declared, "Prince Theseus of Athens has conspired with the traitor Taurus. These men are witnesses. They saw it with their own eyes. He must be dealt with immediately. He deserves to be on the vanguard, fighting for Deucalion." At the mention of Taurus, Queen Pasiphae's face turned pale. Was he really still alive? She cried out in horror, "Your Majesty, we must get rid of them now, both Taurus and Theseus." Princess Ariadne looked at her mother, shocked. "Mother, wait. There's no evidence that Theseus has committed treason." She hesitated, unsure what to say next. Catreus seized the opportunity. "Here is the evidence." He boomed, pointing to the kneeling soldiers. "These are the witnesses. They have turned from their path of treason and sworn new allegiance to the royal family." A heavy silence filled the hall. A deep wrinkle formed on King Minos's brow as he considered the accusation. Finally, he spoke, his voice slow and deliberate. "Very well, you've brought witnesses, so I will trust you for now." Catreus smiled, but the king's next words stopped him cold. "However, Deucalion doesn't need soldiers. He will be able to sort out the truth all by himself." Catreus looked up, confused. "Alone? What do you mean by that, Your Majesty?" At that moment, on the path to the palace, the footsteps of Theseus and PHAEDRA echoed quietly, and watching them from the distant shadows was a lone figure. In his hand he held the spear of Manoa, an ancient relic of Crete, its tip glowing silver in the twilight. He fixed his gaze on Theseus, but his eyes were filled more with agony than with anger. Catreus says he conspires with traitors, he whispered to himself. But is he truly such a man? His hand trembled, causing the spear's tip to quiver. A name escaped his lips. Theseus. It was Dut. Unaware of the danger, Theseus continued walking slowly toward the palace, guided by PHAEDRA. The setting sun cast their shadows long across the path. And at the end of those shadows, the shaking point of a spear added a subtle, deadly tension to the evening air. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow for the next part of the story.